Rappler is in Indonesia to cover this election that will choose the leader of Southeast Asia's largest economy for the next 5 years. Indonesia is a key Philippine partner in economic growth and security, a close neighbor who is expected to lead the region to an integrated ASEAN by 2015. Ayee Macaraig joins us live from Jakarta to give us the latest updates on what Jokowi and Prabowo are up to the day before elections. Ayee, what does it look like in terms of voter turnout?
But on the eve of the elections, it's still not clear who will emerge to be the leader of Indonesia in the next 5 years. But what's clear is that everyone is expecting a high voter turnout. Voters are enthusiastic to cast their ballot in such a close and crucial race. We've seen this trend in countries overseas, in places like Hong Kong, where the voter turnout for the presidential race is 3 times higher than that for the legislative election on April 9. Now, this expectation of a high voter turnout is raising fears that the local election commission, or what they call here the KPU, will be overwhelmed, that it did not prepare as much for the presidential election. What happened in Hong Kong was many voters were disenfranchised because they weren't able to cast their vote due to time constraints and a lack of ballots. But the election commission here is saying that it did prepare for such an eventuality and there is a contingency plan. Now, the polls will close at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. The official results won't be out until July 20, but there will be exit polls that will give us the first look, the first picture of who could be the leader of the world's largest Muslim majority nation. Paterno?
So, Ayee, where are the candidates right now?
Today, Jokowi, the Jakarta governor, popular for his grassroots leadership, just returned to Jakarta from a minor Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. He said that he prayed for the conduct of a smooth election and that with such a close race, he is leaving his faith to God. Now, some analysts saw this as a strategic move on Jokowi's part after the spread of black propaganda that he is a closet ethnic Chinese Christian. But Jokowi's campaign is saying that this is part of the ordinary, that he has been doing this ever since he was the mayor of Solo in Central Java when he ran for Jakarta governor in 2012. This is really part of his ritual every time there is what they call here the cooling off period or the quiet period in the campaign, that he goes to Mecca and he prays for the election. Now, as for former General Prabowo Subianto, he has been appearing in public events despite this cooling off period. He is with religious leaders seeking their last-minute support or endorsement in this race. Now, why the focus on Mecca? Why go on a pilgrimage? Why appear with religious leaders? As we know that religion is an issue here. It's an undercurrent in the elections because this is, after all, the world's largest Muslim majority nation. 9 out of 10 citizens are Muslim, and it's one of the issues that came out in this campaign, specifically in relation to the smear campaign against Jokowi. Paterno?
Ayee, now this is a concern in the region. What's the possibility of violence breaking out?
Well, historically, Indonesia has seen relatively peaceful, free, and fair elections, and that's a crucial component in its reputation in the region as a young, healthy democracy. But this time, there are fears that it could be different. Some analysts are saying that with the background of Prabowo, after all, he was a general during the Suharto New Era regime, that he was the son-in-law of Suharto, he was a commander of the special forces, and looking at the people around him, the people who support his campaign, that they could not take defeat sitting down. So there is that fear. But some analysts are saying that the stakes are too high, that he cannot afford to orchestrate such a thing. And the camp of Jokowi is saying that if Prabowo is a firm leader, as what he is always emphasizing in this election, if he is a firm leader, he will not allow his allies to cause violence during the election, which would mean a lot for the young democracy of Indonesia. Paterno?
Thank you very much. That was Ayee Macaraig live from Jakarta, Indonesia.